All right, moving on from TV series talk, we get to the big one, Cannes Film Festival. That was the first week was this week, and it's the first film festival of the year.
Starts the circuit, yeah.
Yeah, and there were some big films that came out this week alone, and there's still a lot more big ones to come. You know, you still got Asteroid City, Elemental, and a few indies along the way. For this one, there's probably about 4 I want to talk about. I'll just mention what I want to talk about for one film and then ask you a question. Move on. Yep, cool. First one is Jeanne du Barry. That is
Johnny Depp one?
Johnny Depp one, yep.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp one. It's got a rotten score on Rotten Tomatoes, but that's not the question I want to ask. I want to ask what happened in this is that after the film, everyone gave Johnny Depp a massive standing ovation and went on for quite a while. For what he's been through over these past few years and to receive that reception, do you think I don't even know what my question was. Like, do you think this is obviously this will mean so much to him, but do you think this is sort of giving him hope to get back into acting a bit more regularly? And obviously it's good to see an actor that's gone through all this.
Yeah. I mean, you're definitely right. He's gone through a lot. And I mean, watching the video from the reaction to, the film as a whole and obviously his performance, he was clearly emotional by the response.
Yeah.
By the standing ovation. So acting and the validation he gets from it are clearly important to him. So it really depends on what he wants, because I remember hearing about if he was offered a certain amount, would he go back to Disney and Jack Sparrow and whatnot? Yeah. And I think his answer was definitely not. No way. And I guess fair enough after the way he was treated by Disney.
Yeah.
And then, it's a question. Where does he go in terms of acting? At Warner Brothers, they kicked him off Fantastic Beasts. And, why would he want to associate with that kind of studio again? So it's like
Universal.
Yeah, Universal. That's where Nolan is. So comparing.
I would actually love to see him in a Nolan film. Sorry.
It would be interesting for sure. But it really depends on what Johnny Depp wants and all, because, he's the one that's gone through this. And it is nice to see a redemption arc for somebody that was villainized for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And proved with a fair trial in court that, he wasn't who he was made out to be by the media. And so when that happens and, he's received punishment for something he did not do, it is very nice. And I love to see when, he gets that kind of recognition. In terms of where he wants to go with acting, if he wants to just do independent stuff, then, all for him. I'll watch his stuff when it comes around. If it's, big blockbusters, I'll watch that too, It's really what he wants to do. In terms of what I would want for the rest of his career, something in line with kind of what Brendan Fraser is doing. I want to see a really visceral, raw performance from Johnny Depp. I want him to get on the Oscar scene. That would be truly beautiful to see. But if he somehow comes back to Disney for a Jack Sparrow thing, is offered $100 million to do it, I'm not going to complain at that, because I love those movies and I'm not afraid to admit that. So he can come back if he wants to. What about you?
Yeah, on the same page as you. I sort of want to see Johnny Depp break from this stereotype. Every actor has a stereotype. The Rock plays the Rock, and and Ryan Reynolds plays Ryan Reynolds, and Johnny Depp's one is he always plays that weird, creepy, quirky sort of character.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see him be in a more serious, grounded sort of properly acting rather than just, I don't know, being weird.
Yeah. Yeah. He does them well.
Yeah. I know he does, but there's just so many films that I've seen of him, of his, that is just, that stereotype.
Yeah. So much. Yeah.
So it'd be nice to see him do what Brendan Fraser did last year and deliver an Oscar-worthy performance. And
exactly.
Hopefully we get that from this film.
Yeah.
Obviously the reactions have sort of leaned towards that.
Yeah. So the film's rotten.
Film's rotten. I don't know what the percent is, but it's definitely rotten.
Wow. Yeah. I couldn't say if this is his entryway back into Hollywood or getting offers again, but it's a step in the right direction. Yeah.
Small steps.
Honestly, like if he was to retire today, I wouldn't mind. Like at this point, I just want someone who's gone through that just to be happy and just live life without having to worry about that extra stuff that really, I guess, put him through like a really traumatic state through the last few years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Right, moving on to another rotten film that came out of nowhere is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. So this is one where me and James were somewhat on the fence about the whole time, you know, like we knew what we were going to get, but it looked like a fun action film, and it was directed by James Mangold as well, you know. James always says never doubt on never.
I don't think I said never. I said it's James Mangold, don't doubt him.
Don't doubt him. Well, doubt.
Yeah, you can a little bit of doubt.
So Harrison Ford got a massive standing ovation as well, and he was really emotional about it. He had tears and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was good. It's his last performance as Indiana Jones as well. Probably he's going to be his last. I don't think it's confirmed yet.
Yeah.
So he's obviously saying goodbye to a character that pretty much put him on the map.
Mm-hmm.
Same as Han Solo.
Yep.
But the reviews started to come out now, and I can't remember what it was. Did it drop into like the 40s before it climbed its way up?
It's at 50 now.
Yeah, it's at 50 now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
so
30 reviews.
Yeah, so imagine like getting a standing ovation by all these like film critics, going home, Harrison Ford cracking open a nice whiskey after doing a job well done, going online and seeing that score. He's just like, oh, really? But we're not going to get into that. We're going to get into the score and does this affect your hype for the film?
Right, it's interesting. You know, it got like a 5-minute standing ovation, and then these reviews come out. I read when Top Gun debuted at Cannes last year, it got a 5-minute standing ovation. And so to have the same standing ovation for a movie that's amazing, and then a movie that has 50% on Rotten Tomatoes with 30 reviews is very surprising. I also find this really mind-boggling because studios do not debut. They usually don't debut a movie so far away from the release date. This is like the end of June. Yeah. This movie comes out so early. If they know it's going to get bad reviews or bad reception, like Disney clearly thought they had a really good movie here, and I guess they don't. It's still like if you think about it, half of the reviews thought, half the critics thought it was good and half thought it was bad. So it's not like awful.
Yeah,
but it's still like Disney thought this was going to be a really big movie. In terms of Mangold, and you know, I always root for the guy, and I will still continue to root for him because the biggest difference here is that he's working with Disney.
Yes,
and we know Disney's kind of strangle on creative directors. I mean, Logan's outside of Disney at the time. It was, I guess now it's not. And
his upcoming Star Wars film is
under Disney. The upcoming Star Wars is. So it gives me a little bit of a pause for concern now because I feel like if Mangold is directing Indy, and I obviously could be really wrong. I'm just speculating here, but you know, Disney really could have had like a hand saying no, Indy needs to end this way or whatever it may be, and so it's forcing him to make adjustments where he didn't want to. That's not his vision.
Yeah,
I think Disney's quite manipulative in that sense. So it could be the Disney effect with Mangold directing this. I don't know. I'm just speculating, but it gives me a reason to be concerned, and it gives me a reason to be concerned about Dawn of the Jedi one as well. But yeah, in terms of my hype for this movie, I'm still excited. I think because it still looks like a fun adventure movie, and I do believe we're going to get a fun adventure movie. I just don't know if the end product will be like, whoa, or like I don't know if it'll be like the emotional goodbye to Indy or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
I just, it seems like it's going to miss the mark on ending an iconic character and closing out a franchise in a really big way, but it will still have the fun adventure blockbuster, popcorn flick that it can be. I think it can be that, and I have a good time with it, but I don't think I'll love it now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
pretty much the same boat as you are. I wasn't really overly excited for this film when it was first announced. I was like, really, that fourth one is a bit, was pretty shit. And then they announced this, and then that score came out, and I was like, oh, my thoughts is exactly what it is. You know, it's going to be shit. So I'm not looking forward to it that much. I mean, obviously, I'll be looking forward to the action pieces and obviously seeing Harrison Ford say goodbye to this character because those are always good, wholesome moments and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I have heard a lot of stuff about this. I heard that the plot is a bit messy. The action sequences, there's too many of them, and like they don't quite work that well because of the overuse of CGI.
Right.
So there's some pretty big complaints about here and whatnot. Haven't heard the score. I can't remember. I think it's John Williams. Not 100% sure.
Yeah.
But is this John Williams' last one before he retires? Was it not this film that he was
when he's retiring?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was.
He can't retire. But I mean, he is composing this film, but I don't know. Can't be his last one, surely. I know he's
unless I heard it from like one of those sites that just clickbait, which is not us, by the way. We don't clickbait.
We don't
at all. No,
we got good quality stuff.
We do.
Yes,
but if this is John Williams' final film composing, I hope at least the score is a major highlight. Because the Indiana Jones film is easily one of the most iconic in
that theme, for sure,
in cinema. So I hope like he can do this film justice and Harrison Ford's exit justice as well.
I think the reason why I was starting to get like a little bit excited for it before these reviews dropped is because Steven Spielberg came out and said that he loved it. And he's obviously starred the whole thing. So I mean, he did Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, but it kind of makes me like wonder like the Disney effect on Indiana Jones.
I think the Disney effect on non-Disney projects is worrisome. They were given Star Wars, and when they took over Star Wars, it wasn't the best condition, so to speak.
They made it worse.
Yeah,
I prefer the prequels more than the sequels.
Me too.
Yeah,
I think the only highlight, I still think Phantom Menace and Clone Wars is probably one of the worst.
Clone Wars is worse.
Yeah. But at least like they have moments in there which makes it awesome. Clone Wars is there for the memes.
Yeah.
And just as sand is coarse. I hate it. And then Phantom Menace, you have Darth Maul and you have like that final third act lightsaber duel. But in The Force Awakens, because that's easily one of the best.
I love Force Awakens, despite it being very similar. Yeah. It's still really good.
Yeah. But Return of the Jedi, that missed the ball, and same with Rise of Skywalker. But
Return was good.
Huh?
Return of the Jedi was good. Do you mean The Last Jedi?
Yeah. Did I say Return?
Yeah. You said Return of the Jedi. I was like, damn, like hot take over here.
The Last Jedi. Sorry, that's what I mean. They had scenes, but they weren't like, they didn't stick that well.
It was visually very good. Yeah,
that's about
Rian Johnson was great with that, but just the direction it went was just like it went too off the path the first one that Force Awakens had done.
Yeah. So maybe it's probably best. Well, that's what I'm thinking. Is that Disney they bought Fox and whatnot, but maybe they should still let Fox and Lucasfilm just carry on with their vision.
Own the title of it, and that's it. It feels like they have too much influence and they have to have the Disney effect with it, and sometimes the properties don't really gel with it.
Yeah,
I think in terms of Indiana Jones though, I just it's not for them, and I do believe having Disney working closely with this movie I think is a bad thing. But I got to a point where I'm like, this could be Top Gun Maverick of the year because it's debuting in Cannes very early. They're very confident with it. And, it's kind of like a legacy sequel. And it's going to close out this character. And it's from an iconic property back in the 80s. Everything was
all
working.
Lines up.
And then it's like 50%. It's like, oh, okay. All right. I just hope it's good fun while I'm there. That's all I really need at this point. Yeah.
Find out in June.
Yes, sir.
All right. Next one, which is pretty much a topic that I never talk about because it's I don't really watch these films that much. If Kyan was still here, he'll be all up in this. But the film's called Monster. It's a Japanese film. The premise is a mother confronting her son's teacher when she notices changes in her son's behavior. I did write down the director's name, but I'm not going to even attempt to pronounce that. But what you need to know is that it's topped Cannes so far. It's 100% currently on Rotten Tomatoes. Last time I checked before starting this podcast, could come down now. I'm not too sure. But it sounds like as if it's going to be like not quite Parasite sort of levels, but like, you know, it's up there with one of the good foreign films. I'm not sure if you've heard much of this film, but if you have, what are your thoughts on it? And if you haven't, are you going to look into it a bit more before we get to see it?
Yeah, man. Well, this movie, the director, he directed Shoplifters. Don't know if you heard of that one.
No.
It's 99% on Rotten Tomatoes, by the way. Very good movie. It opened up our New Zealand Film Festival here, I think, in, what was it, 2018? Yeah. So that's the only thing I've seen. I know that he did one very recently because Madman sent us a media alert on it, and that was it. But that movie it's called Broker, and they got 94%. So this director is a very talented director. I didn't even know this movie was coming until you've mentioned it now, and so I did a little bit of digging with it, and I mean I'm excited. I'm just straight away on board because you go through this filmography and it's clearly very decorated, and from what I've seen for Shoplifters, he's a very talented director. So yeah, it's like, and the plot itself sounds interesting and it feels intimate, and it's something that he could really craft into something that feels very intimate. You feel very with the characters and just providing very close-up lens into that kind of dynamic with the family and stuff like that. So yeah, it's going to be a movie that I hope that we get at our film festival.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a movie that can get to the Oscars, just because limited exposure, all the campaigning, political stuff behind what makes an Oscar film get nominated and whatnot.
I mean, if Parasite made it, surely this can.
That's Bong Joon-ho, and he's a much more acclaimed and Hollywood liked director, I would say.
Right.
Hollywood known director, we'll say that. Because he's directed English properties as well.
Drive My Car. Was that not nominated for an Oscar a couple of years back?
That was during COVID season, so it may have been an influence on it. We'll see. But yeah, man, I'm definitely on board with it. I hope we get it with our one. I think it's going to be a good one.
Yeah. Me too. I don't need to talk anymore because I think I said it in my questioning or before my question.
Nothing else to add? You sure?
Nothing else to add because I have not seen anything else. Right, now we're moving on to what I feel is the main event of this first week of Cannes Film Festival. It is a film that I'm eagerly anticipating. I am sure James is. I'm pretty sure it was on both of our top 10s of this year.
Yeah.
Yep. It's Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon, with Leonardo DiCaprio obviously coming in, and it also has Robert Downey Jr. and everyone else under the sun. This one got a 9-minute standing ovation at Cannes. It is 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. Jesus Christ. Does this get you any more hyped?
No. Doesn't get me more excited at all. Because it's exactly how I predicted things to go down. It's what I expect.
Yeah.
You got Robert De Niro, you got Martin Scorsese, you got Leonardo DiCaprio. Like, if it's anything less than what this is, then I'm disappointed.
If you take away Leonardo DiCaprio,
it's Martin Scorsese.
Were you excited for The Irishman? To this level?
No, not to this level.
Okay. Why is that?
I don't know. I was excited for it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might have been in my most anticipated. It's definitely one I was excited for. But that movie was highly regarded.
Yeah.
Yeah, and got like I don't remember the minute long ovations it got. But yeah, that's a decorated movie. Got nominated for a bunch of things. So I think when you have Scorsese directing anything, you can expect it to be very good. When you got Robert De Niro there as well, and Leonardo DiCaprio, you're going to get some good cinema. Like, yeah. It's just a guarantee. If this was like 88, I would be shocked. I'd be like, wow, this is like very, like and it sounds silly because there's only like 30 reviews or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would sound silly to complain about that, but yeah, when you have these types of guys and like
the best of the best.
Yeah, these are like legends in cinema. So I expected exactly how this went, simply because, you know, Apple TV, they gave Martin Scorsese, do whatever you want, $200 million, here you go.
That's what Disney should do.
Yeah, highest budgeted film for Apple TV, highest budgeted film for Martin Scorsese ever, and Leo, who's probably like the best actor of his generation, and then Robert De Niro, who's one of the best of his generation, and then Martin Scorsese, who's probably the best of his generation. Like,
it's just the best of the best of the best.
Exactly. So you know you're going to get some of the best stuff that you've seen here. And you know we'll dive into a little bit of, you know, the first footage and the runtime, but man, I'm so excited. Like we watched a trailer together before, and I was like, please, please, can this be at New Zealand Film Festival, which is from the middle of July to the middle of August.
Yeah,
and this comes out in October. So I mean, like, fingers crossed. Like, otherwise, I'm going to try and pull some strength at Apple TV in New Zealand to try and get something there. But yeah, like, I need it ASAP.
Yeah, same.
It'd be the perfect movie to have at, you know, our film festival.
Same. I'm so excited for this film as well. As you already know, like, Leonardo DiCaprio is my favorite actor, and then this is quite high on my top 10. I'm pretty sure it's top 5. I can't remember my list exactly, but this is quite high on it. And like, seeing that score is just like, this is definitely worth it. You know, like, we're going to get a good film over here. We saw the trailer. We'll dive into that a bit later, but like, I saw these reactions before I watched the trailer.
Yeah.
So like, I saw the reviews and the score, and then I watched the trailer. And I was like, now I understand why it's this high.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely.
So yeah, I can't wait for this to come out. And you mentioned NZIFF.
2 Fs. Yep.
Yep. NZIFF.
Yeah.
Make it happen. Bring Killers of the Flower Moon to New Zealand Film Festival.
Well, I mean, they're bringing Past Lives over here, which is tracking really high in the Oscar conversation.
Yeah.
So we'll be definitely seeing that one. But, you know, in their press release that they sent to our email, it said Cannes Film Festival is coming up, so we'll have lots to preview there and hopefully bring some over to our film festival. So if you're listening, that is one you got to bring. That in Asteroid City, and I'll be a happy chappy.
And Monster.
Yes, of course. Yeah,
and Monster.
I think that one will definitely be coming.
Yeah. I think
just
so
because
too.
Shoplifters opened up the 2018 film festival.
Right. Yeah.